Coming up on WUFT Midday, President Trump returns to the U.S. after Israel and Hamas agree to a peace deal. The looming questions remaining for the process and how many people are celebrating regardless. Plus, big news for the U.S. economy and your wallet. The U.S. and China imposing new financial restrictions on each other. The front where the next trade battle is being fought and why costs could rise for consumers. And here in north central Florida, temperatures are taking a dip and skies are as clear as can be. Our weather team lets you know how long these fantastic conditions will last.
You're watching WUFT Midday.
You're taking a live look at the Western Wall in Jerusalem, where Israeli hostages are returning home. Meanwhile, in Gaza, people are celebrating the end of a war that devastated the city. All of this comes after a peace deal was signed between Israel and Hamas. Welcome to WUFT Midday. I'm Adragna. The president addressed global leaders at a peace summit in Egypt after meeting in Israel with freed hostages and their families. NBC's Alezard has the latest on the immediate impacts of the peace deal.
This morning, as President Trump returns to the White House from a Middle East trip that sought to cement peace in Gaza.
Historic day, to put it mildly.
The final 20 living Israeli hostages are waking up at home for the first time in 2 years. Joyful family reunions nourishing a nation hollowed out by their long and painful absence. Images of Hamas terrorists abducting Noah Argamani as her boyfriend, Avinatan Or, was also dragged away, were among the most searing from the October 7th attacks. Noah was rescued last year. Avinatan leaping into her arms upon his release. While in Gaza, nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners also released through the peace deal, all returning to a war-ravaged territory. President Trump joined 20 other heads of state for a peace summit in Egypt, seeking long-term solutions.
We're going to have a lot of money coming into Gaza and a lot of rebuilding and building.
The president thanking neighboring Arab states for committing to helping rebuild.
I met with many of the people in this room, and it all just started coming together.
Though so far, Israel and Hamas have agreed to just phase one of President Trump's 20-point peace plan, with looming questions about Hamas disarming and leaving power, and who will govern Gaza through an uncertain future. In Washington, Alezard, NBC News.
Trade tensions between the U.S. and China are rising once again, impacting how much you could be paying for everything from furniture to toys for the kids. CNN's Amy Kiley reveals where the next trade battle is taking place.
Can we find some way to kind of coexist with China as we still are strategic rivals?
Today, the U.S. and China are imposing new port fees on each other's ships amid the threat of more tariff hikes. That's according to the U.S. Trade Representative and the Chinese Ministry of Transport. The fees are another import cost for businesses on top of duties.
We're in a pattern of escalation and now hopefully towards de-escalation, paving the way for President Trump to meet with Xi Jinping just a couple of weeks from now in Korea.
The port fees are part of escalating trade policies between the two countries. Chinese analysts accuse the U.S. of starting this latest tit-for-tat by imposing new export controls last month. They say that's why China recently tightened restrictions on rare earth minerals. They're important for cars, electronics, and semiconductors. As a result, President Donald Trump is threatening a triple-digit tariff hike on Chinese imports by November 1st. Beijing is warning of retaliation if that happens, but both sides say they'd prefer a resolution. In a social media post Sunday, Trump says, quote, "Don't worry about China, it will all be fine." And the USA wants to help China, not hurt it.
The 100% tariff does not have to happen. I imagine that I will have some contact with my counterpart and then the two leaders will meet.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
If you guys haven't noticed, the skies are clear and temperatures are feeling like fall. If you want to get some time in the outdoors, today's a great day to do that. UF forecaster Sienna Silvest is live in the weather studio to let us know how much cooler it's going to get this week.
Absolutely. It is looking like a great week to get outdoors. Currently looking at our campus we can see those clear skies, not many clouds out. That sun is just absolutely poking through. Those temperatures right now are in those low 80s, but that humidity around the 50. We're getting A little bit to no breeze right now, but we are going to see a little bit breeze as we go into tomorrow. Now those temperatures across north central Florida, they're looking right now in those low 80s to high 70s. We're going to feel a little bit hotter than we did last week and this past weekend. Now those dew point temperatures, they are in those low 60s. It is going to be a little bit less kind of sticky feeling here on those coasts, but it is going to be slightly sticky as you're walking around today with those temperatures there in those mid 80s. But coming up, we are going to give an update on the tropics and how that weekend is shaping out to be drier and a little bit cooler.
We're staying cool and dry, but the eastern seaboard is experiencing windy conditions and heavy rains. Parts of the southwest are also experiencing flooding, and typhoon remnants are affecting Alaska. CNN's Amy Kiley breaks down how these weather conditions are impacting millions of Americans.
A powerful and dangerous nor'easter is slamming Atlantic states today. It's a cyclonic storm with northeast winds that push water toward the coast.
The tidal flooding is the main concern.
Authorities report numerous water rescues in the Carolinas yesterday. Today, forecasters say mid-Atlantic and New England coastlines are in danger. The National Weather Service says flood risks in some areas will remain for days.
I wanted to see how high the water was, and it's higher than I expected already.
Delaware says it's activating its National Guard. Atlantic City, New Jersey could see the highest water levels since Hurricane Sandy. The area is more secure than it was during that infamous storm, thanks to millions of dollars of improvements.
Nowadays, it's everybody's preparing for the worst and kind of hoping for the best, which is, I guess, really the best way to prepare for it.
The nor'easter is causing numerous travel issues. FlightAware reports more than 7,000 flight delays yesterday. It says airports in New York and Boston were hardest hit. The nor'easter also is bringing powerful winds. Meteorologists say they topped 50 miles per hour yesterday in parts of Delaware, North Carolina, New Jersey, Maryland, and Virginia.
There are some big gusts coming through, so just the chance for some isolated power outages as well.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
A Florida woman convicted of hiring a hitman to kill her ex-son-in-law will spend the rest of her life behind bars. A jury convicted Donna Adelson in September for the 2014 death of Florida State University law professor Dan Markle. Adelson addressed the court during her sentencing on Monday, saying Markle was a fine and decent man and a good son-in-law. She and her husband say she is innocent and being punished for a crime she didn't commit. The judge didn't take kindly to Adelson trying to defend herself before her sentencing.
Mrs. Adelson, you certainly can continue. However, the court can take into consideration the utter lack of remorse that you are displaying. Please proceed if you desire to do so.
Adelson is the fifth person sentenced. Is Adelson's son, Charles Adelson. The Alachua County Sheriff's Office says all lanes on Hawthorne Road have reopened after a crash this morning. All westbound lanes were closed earlier and traffic was diverted by law enforcement. Deputies and rescue personnel have now cleared the traffic crash on 5400 Southeast Hawthorne Road. The Marion County Sheriff's Office wants neighbors to watch out for fraud attempts. MCSO says scammers are posing as Sheriff's Office employees to try and steal money. The Sheriff's Office says it will never demand a payment for any reason, including donations for law enforcement causes. If you receive a suspicious call, you should hang up immediately. Preparations for this weekend's homecoming festivities at the University of Florida are in full swing. On Friday, October 17th, beginning at noon, UF will host its annual homecoming parade. The route starts at Southwest 13th Street and ends at Bo Diddley Plaza. Make sure to plan out your weekend travels as the celebrations will cause road closures and delays. A pair of Marion County Fire Rescue SWAT medics are back in Gainesville after competing on a national stage. These two medics put their skills to the test in the 2025 International Tactical Medic Competition. It's a two-day event where competitors practice high-intensity scenarios, and the team competed in events like rope rescue, ventilator management, and junctional hemorrhage control. Teams from all around the globe competed, and Marion County duos placed 8th in the event. The Ocala Procurement Department is hosting an event for women in business on October 22nd. It's taking place at the Mary Sue Rich Community Center from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. The event includes guest speakers, networking opportunities, and information about business growth strategies. The deadline to register is October 17th at 5 p.m.
Those temperatures are currently in the low 80s, but coming up, we're going to talk about how that forecast is going to shape up for your homecoming weekend, an update on the tropics, and how we're going to see dry weather.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
You're taking a live look at I-75 near mile marker 379 at Paynes Prairie. Skies are mostly clear and traffic is flowing smoothly. UF forecaster Sienna Silvest is live in the weather studio to tell you why this week is a great one to get some outdoor activities done.
Absolutely. Thank you, Luke. It's looking like shaping up to be a wonderful week to get outdoors. But right now, we're going to take a look at the tropics. Currently in the Atlantic, we have Tropical Storm Lorenzo. Now, I am going to preface with that this storm is over 2,300 miles away from the Florida coast. So this is not going to be really of concern for us, but we are going to take a glance at that track. So it is going to start to curve north and then curve back eastern, just as we have seen of all those tropical cyclones this hurricane season. Now, we are in halfway through those storm names for the 2025 season. We are at El Lorenzo, just like we just went over that track. And we still do have a month and a half left of hurricane season. And although we've had a pretty quiet one during 2025, we are going to take a look at those hurricane kit essentials, as we are not officially at the end yet. So always make sure to have your kit packed and always look to officials for the most updated information. Now we are going to take it back home to that wonderful week that we are going to have. We are going to see a little bit of partly cloudy skies right now, that sunshine really poking through, temperatures there in the low 80s, there at 81. Pretty stiff, calm winds right now. As you go into tomorrow, we're going to see some gusts between 15 and 20 miles an hour. Those temperatures, currently they're in those low 80s, but we are going to warm up as we go into today. But tonight, we are going to see a cool down in temperatures, just as we felt this morning there. 2 a.m. we're going to be around in those mid 60s, but we could possibly be just a little bit lower, just as we were this morning. Now, futurecast, there is about nothing here on the radar. We are going to be very dry this week. Now, going into tomorrow, there could be a little bit of showers there going onto the I-95 corridor, a little bit of scattered storms there on the coast. But for us here in Gainesville Inland, we are going to be pretty dry tomorrow, going into the rest of the week, up until next week when there's a slight higher chance of showers. Now, those high temps for today, we are going to reach those mid to high 80s. We're going to be a little bit higher than we saw this past weekend. We got a little taste of fall, but we are going to get slightly hotter before cooling down again this weekend. Now, it is game day. It's homecoming week. Around game time at 4 o'clock, we are going to be in those mid 80s before game day wraps up. We are going to end though in those mid 70s as well, and then cooling down into the 60s as you head home. Now, looking towards the weekend tomorrow, it is going to be a little bit breezy. Like I said earlier, those gusts are going to be between 15 and 20 miles an hour. We are going to see a little bit of a temperature cool down as we go into the weekend before bumping up just a little bit to those mid to high 80s Sunday into next week. Slight chance of showers on Sunday with 20%, but overall it is a wonderful weekend to get outside.
There's some cooler air in north central Florida right now, which means the holidays are right around the corner, but so are the expenses. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez reports on how much shoppers are deciding to spend on travel, gifts, and decorations.
The holiday season is fast approaching, but with the murky economic picture, many may not be in the spending spirit.
People are saying that they're pulling back around the holidays. I take it with a bit of a grain of salt, to be honest, just because there's been a big disconnect this year between what people say and what they do.
In a new survey from Bankrate, 41% of respondents say they're concerned holiday gifts will be more expensive this year, and roughly a third of shoppers plan to take on debt. Bankrate's Ted Rossman says the survey also found fewer people are planning to travel during the period between Thanksgiving and New Year's.
We see that only 21% of U.S. adults are planning holiday travel this year. Last year, it was 27%. And I'm surprised that this is going down, just because through September, the TSA has actually processed more air travelers this year than last year per day.
For those who are planning to go home for the holidays, Clint Henderson with the Point Sky travel platform says there's still time to book.
We're about to enter the perfect booking window when prices are not too high, not too low. If you book too early for the holidays, you're going to pay a premium. And also, if you book starting after around Halloween, prices are going to start going up from there.
When it's time to travel, be prepared. Have your airlines app on your phone to track your plane and rebook if necessary.
Keep informed, keep up with the news. You really want to be an informed consumer during any kind of intemperate weather or other government problems or even freaks of nature.
In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Some more news with the holidays approaching. Amazon says it's hiring over 250,000 people for the holiday season. Regular, full-time, part-time, and seasonal jobs are available. People will work for the online retail giant's fulfillment and transportation network across the United States. The jobs are posted online through December. Amazon hired a similar number of workers for the holidays the last 2 years. October is Menopause Awareness Month. Over 1.3 million U.S. women go through menopause each year. Experts say awareness can help people through this natural part of life. In today's Health Minute, CNN's Mandy Gaither has 5 facts and OBGYN says everyone should know about menopause.
It's a natural part of aging. Menopause is officially reached when there's been 12 months without a menstrual cycle and no other underlying medical condition.
Every woman who starts having a period is going to go through menopause.
OBGYN Dr. Sujatha Reddy says the first thing to know about this phase in life is that it's different for every woman. She says the transition often begins between ages 45 and 58 in a time called perimenopause, with the average age being around 52 years old.
The ovaries stop ovulating, stop making hormone, and it's that drop or change in hormones that can really lead to symptoms that for some women can really affect your day-to-day life.
Next, some of those symptoms can include hot flashes, night sweats, reduced bladder control, weight gain, irritability, joint pain, and dry skin. Third, menopause increases risk for some health problems, including heart disease and bone loss.
For patients who are in their mid-50s and their periods have stopped, that's when I try to get a baseline bone density scan to see where we're starting, because as your estrogen stays low, you can lose more bone.
Fourth, self-care can help ease the burden of symptoms. That includes regular exercise, getting good quality sleep, and maintaining a healthy weight. Reddy says limiting caffeine and alcohol may also make a difference. And finally, there are hormonal and non-hormonal treatments available.
Don't suffer. Come to your healthcare provider and have a conversation.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now let's head over to our Noticias partners for a look at today's top stories for our Spanish language audience.
Hola, soy Santiago Alezard con tus noticias en 90 segundos. Donna Adelson condenada a cadena perpetua por asesinato por encargo. La matriarca de una familia adinerada del sur de Florida fue condenada por pagar por el asesinato de su ex yerno, Daniel Marquiel, quien era un profesor de ley en la Universidad Estatal de Florida, FSU, fue abatido a tiros al frente de su casa en el 2014. Esto sucedió en medio de una batalla legal con su ex esposa por la custodia de sus hijos. Ahora, 11 años después del asesinato y con 75 años de edad, Adelson ha sido sentenciada. Adelson juró ser inocente en la sala de justicia en Tallahassee, pero el juez aseguró que Adelson tenía una falta total de remordimiento. El expresidente colombiano César Gaviria alerta del gobierno del presidente Petro podría blindar al Tren de Aragua con la paz total. Gaviria encendió las alarmas al advertir que el gobierno de Gustavo Petro podría incluir al Tren de Aragua en su política de paz total. Según él, esta movida buscaría frenar la extradición de las cabecillas presas en la Pictoa. Gaviria criticó durantemente al presidente, asegurando que su plan se ha convertido en un refugio para delincuentes y no en un camino hacia la paz. Además, rechazó que Petro haya intentado justificar las acciones del grupo criminal, calificando sus palabras como un horror monumental. Entre otras noticias, la compañía Amazon dice que está contratando a más de 250,000 personas para la temporada navideña. Aquellos interesados podrán optar por posiciones regulares, a tiempo completo y parcial para la red de cumplimiento y transporte. En los últimos 2 años, Amazon ha contratado números similares de trabajadores durante las festividades. Puedes conseguir más información en su página en línea. Estas fueron tus noticias en 90 segundos. Gracias por sintonizarnos.
This is Charlie Jones with your Midday Sports. Billy Napier faced the music Monday following the loss to Texas A&M, emphasizing the urgency within the locker room and a readiness to move forward.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no one that has more urgency or passion or work ethic, intensity, desire than our players. Look, win, lose, or draw, it's time to turn the page and move on to the next one.
Florida's urgency waned in the fourth quarter, being outpaced by nearly 7 minutes in time of possession and allowing scoring opportunities for the Aggies. The Gators look to iron out the issues when Mississippi State enters the Swamp for homecoming this Saturday. Moving over to volleyball, where the Gators continue to get wins on and off the court. Libero Lily Hayes earned SEC Co-Freshman of the Week honors after back-to-back stellar performances in the Gators' weekend sweep. The Tampa native posted 20 digs and 7 assists on Friday against Missouri, while adding 4 aces in the Sunday win over Vanderbilt. She's the first player to win an SEC award in the Ryan Tice era. Hayes and the Gators will look to keep the good times rolling tomorrow when they travel to Knoxville for a matchup with number 17 Tennessee. And we're staying on the court as the FHSAA volleyball postseason is in full swing. PK Young and Hawthorne saw their fate sealed Monday night, falling in the first round of each's district tournament. Top-seeded teams like Buchholz, Gainesville, and Santa Fe will serve up district action tonight after receiving first-round byes. Oak Hall, Newberry, Branford, and Williston will also take the court tonight, aiming to keep the run for a state championship alive. And that's your Midday Sports. Catch the latest from Gators baseball fall practices on First at 5.
Now let's take a look at what's coming up on First at 5 on Channel 5. The Alachua County Board of Commissioners meeting right now. Among the point of discussion, county redistricting, what that could mean for you in upcoming elections. Plus, the Citrus County woman pleads guilty to the murder of her 72-year-old roommate, and the local institution bringing much-needed help to single mothers. You won't want to miss the details coming up on First at 5 on Channel 5. Now, Sienna, I know that you talked earlier about the weather for the upcoming week. Can you just tell us what it's going to look like for the homecoming parade in specific?
Absolutely. On Friday, you are going to see those temperatures reach the mid-80s as well as it will reach those mid-80s on Sunday. But it is going to be dry. There is no rain in the forecast for the homecoming parade or the game. Slight chance of rain there on Sunday, but it is shaping up to be a wonderful homecoming weekend.
Thanks for joining us for WFT Midday. We're back here tomorrow for another edition. We will see you later today for First at 5 on Channel 5. Have a great afternoon.